Hello guys, welcome to Ashley Lancelot Show. Today I want to talk to you guys about how I got into Dungeons and Dragons, how I got dragged Ashley into Dungeons and Dragons. I think I told this story, very brief of it. Was in fact from my father that I started playing Dungeons and Dragons. My dad played Dungeons and Dragons. He was, I believe, in middle school or high school. I don't know which one it is. He played the advanced second edition D&D, and he has a whole bunch of books, and he has a whole bunch of trap making. He had grid maps. He has his own little graph paper, make maps and traps. He got a lot of compendium books, that's basically story adventure books. There were no actual, I never actually saw his actual dice set. I saw his dice set for his Magic the Gathering cards. That's how I got Magic the Gathering as well, due to the fact of my dad. It's just one of those things that that's just passed down to me. I started playing D&D when I was in middle school. In elementary, I started Pokemon. Then I got into Magic right after Pokemon, because my dad got into buying Pokemon because he used to buy Magic cards. That's how I got majority of my alpha and beta sets and revised set from my dad. I still have them. I'm not gonna say what I have, but I think everyone knows what 9 sets I have of Power of Something. There's your hit. There are actually in the safety deposit box in the bank in California, so I can't touch it until me and my dad go there and open it up. And basically he doesn't want to sell it. It's basically his bread and butter. Just letting you know. So one day I'll have it in my hands. One day. That will be like 20 to 40 years, and hopefully the card's actually still worth that much. My dad was into Marvel cards, Marvel comics, DC comics. I got into Marvel and DC from my uncle. My uncle is 10 years older than me. He was like my big brother, and I grew up with him. Basically, that's how I got into my first game console was a Nintendo from my uncle. And every time he tried to hide it from me, I always find it, I always hug it up, and I always get yelled by him. But yes, that's how I got into gaming for it. But let's go back to Dungeons and Dragons. D&D was actually a great thing for me. I had a very vivid and a wide imagination. I loved to draw back then. I loved to make stories up, and probably got me in a lot more trouble than good at school and at home. I had a very wide imagination growing up. I still play with Legos. Even till now, I still play with Legos. Still think of stories, think of imagination. I used to write books, like a couple chapter book. My dad proofread it. It's like, it's getting somewhere, but grammar is horrible. Back then, my English is really bad till today, until now. Going to college, keep writing, reading, on and on. It got to a hell of a lot better. It's just one of those things that you never thought of what Dungeons and Dragons can do for people. There has been studies that can actually help out with team build up, leadership, people with some type of anxiety, depression disorder, having over there like once a week or once every other day, once a month. Have people gathering around, talking, socializing, imagining, escaping from reality for a few hours. Might be a good thing as well. That's why we have entertainments. We use entertainment to escape from reality, to enjoy ourselves, have a little downtime for ourselves. So, when I got into D&D, a lot of my friends weren't really much into it, so I never actually played fully until high school, and I met my best friend, James. He was a year ahead of me. No, he was 2 years ahead of me. And we were at Yearbook. I believe it was Yearbook or Cargo. One way how we made a friend was he loved the boa music I was playing it was one weekend I had to do some kind of type of editing and cropping, visualizing, putting a picture on the Adobe Illustrator, so forth and so on. My Photoshop could be a hell of a lot better if put more effort onto it, but I haven't really put not that much effort to anything because I want to see how this thing goes. Then if it goes a lot better, if I get a lot more than 1,000 subs, 2,000 subs, then I'll put more effort into making videos, making scripts, making better thumbnails, or everything else like that. But so far, this is just my hobby for my depression, anxiety, and so forth, so on. You know, you guys there to support me, and I'll try myself best to support you guys as well. That's why I'm doing the giveaway. Giveaway. I give away a lot of stuff. We don't have much. We don't really have much. We've been moving so many times this year. But Dungeons and Dragons also helping with that. So we start. So I offered, because we're talking about Dungeons and Dragons. But the problem was with the administrator. And this is he's one of my favorite teacher, computer science, Mr. Steiner. One of the best computer and science teacher you could ever ever hope for. We were doing HTML. The advanced class was Java, but it was an HTML class. I excelled in it. You know, it was just basic, simple logic and logarithm. But you know, after I'll always finish before everyone else. So I'm always online looking at the Wizard of the Coast, looking at the Dragon magazine and stuff like that. And Mr. Stein's like, I have all of those from issue 1 till now. It's like, oh really? It's like, yeah, I play Dungeons and Dragons. He goes to Oakland like once every week and play. But he never really had the time because he doesn't want to, you know, people don't want to drive all the way to Oakland in the middle of the night and play. I have a good friend that also owns a store there. I miss you, Matt. So, you know, I offered, he's like, would you like to start on Drag Club? Would you be my advisor? He's like, he was shocked. He's like, yeah, sure. Then we had 5 people. It's minimum you need for Dungeons and Dragons have a club. You need to have the president, vice president, the treasury, the secretary, the historian. I think that was the 5 you really needed. I have the yearbooks. I added all the school clubs yearbook. Like, you know, if anyone you have of 2005 to 2007 yearbook of San Leandro High, you see like 30 or 40 of me in that thing in the index. Because there's actually a hell of a lot more. I actually erased a lot of them due to the fact that I don't want them to remove it. You know, if you're ever in yearbook, you can get away with a lot of shady crap. You can put your face in that. You can crop your face all in back there as a little meme. That's why I did. Because I wasn't that popular until that's another story. That's something that was a more violent version of me. I'm more calm and submissive. I have anger problems, but that was from being in the service. Yeah, so we started 5 people. I think it was like a total of 10 to 12 people. Mr. Steiner was actually campaigning the game. Then, you know, several of my friends were looking at people that were basically loners. People have problems speaking or socializing, introverts. We have people that are just weird and stuff like that. We just literally grabbed them and have them join D&D every Wednesday. So that's what we did. Then I had my own I campaigned my own DM. Then every other, pretty much we have that first year we had about, I think, 3 to 4 DMs. The next year we had 6 to 8 DMs. We actually took 3 to 4 school buildings. My senior year, I think we had about 6 to 8, but we had like literally tables of 8 to 12 players, and it took a hell of a long time to go around. So we literally had to have more DMs, and we literally have people outside or on the classroom floor playing D&D because there weren't that much tables or chairs to go around. That's how crazy it was. It's basically right after school, we have a huge money into the snack jar. There's like 8 of us literally go all the way over to 3 blocks down to Walgreens, grab our sodas and chips. Then we have another 3 to 6 people go over to the right across where we go eat the Chinese food or Hawaiian barbecue and order, you know, a food for basically for like 20 to 32 people or more. If there's more people, we had to bring more people to go in and order more food. That's how we did every Wednesday. We basically get that set up. While we get that all set up, people have about 30 to 45 minutes to play. You know, Halo was a whole LAN party. Halo back then was we did a LAN party. LAN party is basically you have a whole bunch of computers together. They hook it up with a LAN or a switch or an internet with the same IP address. Back then you shared like one IP address with one LAN capability. And you basically play each other locally. And that we would basically have like 40 computers that me and Mr. Steiner literally had to fix. I took care of the English department and the drafting department because it was all so outdated, and I literally had me and Jeremy we're going to e-waste and dumpster divings for a little bit newer part, a little bit better parts to replace on some of these computers. But hopefully all of them are gone because they're like Pentium 2s, fucking Celeron, I believe. I don't know. I'm just Pentium 2 and Pentium 4 PCs. Old, very old. Back in, even for me, was a little bit literally old. So we literally had to do a lot of stuff to help school out. And teacher didn't have any. A lot of these kids didn't have a computer of their own back then. The teacher wants to type, double space, all that stuff. So we had to get more computers working in the freaking in the English department. So, you know, throughout the years, you know, 3Ming, and when I left, I came back, you know, just to play and everything else while going to school, going to work. Same thing with James and everyone else that left. I know that the club is still running. Due to certain things that's happened so far. Yeah, I'm happy that it's still alive. I'm just not too happy what happened later on. I'm never gonna tell that story, just so you know. Just knowing the people that I know that have these, like, you know, like weird introvert stuff like that, and now when I come back from the service, I haven't seen them for years, or couple years after I left high school, and to see them coming out of high school and getting a job, going to college, everything else is like, you're just night and day. You're an introvert now. You talk, never stop. You know, you were once a loner. You were once, you once a loner. Once you were, you did not want to deal with people because they made fun of you. Now look at you, you're successful. You know, it's like a lot of these things that even help me as a person, you know, as a storyteller, you know. It's all thanks to Dungeons and Dragons. Also to Mr. Steiner for letting us do it. If it wasn't for him, this would never happen, you know. You know, I played different types of D20 module I never thought you can ever play with. I had the Diablo D20 module I bought from James. He had the Star Wars module we played. You know, they always ban me for what character I can't play anymore, like the Drunken Cleric. That is not my fault. Or the Lewdy Big Tit Girls I play. As hey, I have a fantasy, you know, that will never have in real life. But I'm fine with what I have now. Please don't kill me, Ashley. You know, it's one of those things, you know, that basically got kids out of trouble. And turn 180 night and day. Look at them. You know, it's very surprising what one little game can do to have so many mental and physical aspects that can do to a person, just to use their imagination and creativity. All you need, a piece of paper and a pen and a dice. the person to narrate the story and how the other person play their character they want to. You know, I do 2 campaigns a week. I do Pathfinder, I do 5th edition. The Pathfinder is actually one of my oldest campaign from my high school. I had to modernize it a bit due to the fact the campaign action rule and everything else, but the house rule is still the same I had in high school. I actually deviate some of it due to the fact that, you know, a lot of these monster manual back then until now are, you know, challenge rating are totally different. If I put those monsters in now, what they're going against, they will die. So I had to deviate and help them level up. But once we get back on track, hopefully after New Year's, they'll be back on track in the storyline for the Pathfinder 5th edition. Same thing as well. They're in Underdark. They should be in the 9 Gates of Hell by now. The problem is we've been not having enough players for it. That's also one of my other old campaigns that I had to convert from 3.5 to 5th edition. It's just that, you know, you really is an expert playing game. If you don't know how to play the game well for it, even for me, I have trouble with the skill settings for it. You will die very easily. 5th edition, even though it's very hard to die on 5th edition, but the way I actually play my game, especially for that campaign for expert mode, you will die very easily. So I had to literally scale it back. I'm usually deviating it from the Out of the Abyss book for that. So they need to level up. You know, for them to survive the campaign I created, well, since I was in high school, you really need to be level 14 or higher. And you had to be very suited and geared up. But you know, that's why that's why other stories I use. The one from Out of the Abyss book, the slave pin one, I took that out and I modified my way. I took the dungeon generator online, copy pasted on Roll20 for the Pathfinder. I add my stuff in there. I add my little puzzles, my traps, everything else as well. A little bit of story, but mostly it's just a grinding game. Mostly those 2 are basically grinding games, and hopefully they'll level up. Like within they finish that 2 storyline, they're level 4 or 5 levels up, so we get to the main campaign. That's why I added the Christmas special for the Pathfinder, so they can add an extra level. I'm trying to beefing them up as fast as possible. That once we hit certain level for the certain games, then we can continue on. You know, even for 4 or 5 players, you know, going against a freaking adult dragon would be very difficult for them because they can do 4 attacks. You can do 2 wings, a bite, a tail, and a claw attack. Yeah, you can probably kill them 1 hit. And we don't really have an actual tank. We have a wannabe tank and a mage that thinks it's a tank. And we have a witch that just basically don't know her spells. Ashley, you need to know your spells. How I got Ashley into it. That is something I can't figure out. I got Ashley in it. I got her into Magic the Gathering. How I got her into it, I took her to the Magic tournament, bought her a deck, and I told the nice gentleman, she was a first time player, please teach her how to play. That's basically how it was. And right after she's done with that 1 round, she enjoyed it, loved the card, loved the art, because she's an artist. I'm not. I'm a storyteller, totally different. So she bought more packs and everything else. And I had to make like these like ridiculous deck, like a full worm deck. I'm like, I want all worms. I'm like, no, oh hell no. You don't want no freaking 30 lands and freaking 40 and about 30 of them be all worms, or like pay 6 or higher for them. Like, no, you gotta put little elves in that can produce mana very quickly. And it's like you need a card that pulls mana into the like magic card that basically pulls land in, enchantment for the land. You tap it, you get double the mana you want. That's how you get play worm deck. That build a beat up deck, a red and green deck. I did that. Like she wants me to build her a snake deck. I had to look at all the decks from alpha to now, and I'm like, this is the most horrible looking deck I ever seen in my life, because there aren't that many snakes out there. A lot of snakes are actually having different colors and shape. But she wants it all green. So I had to, I told her it has to be multicolor. It was multicolor and it was just a horrible deck to make. So yeah, she still plays Magic. She plays Magic the Gathering Arena. So do I do. We'll play Vera whenever she wants me to. You can challenge me anytime you want. Just text me day before you want to do it, because I need to be mentally prepared and need a time and date for it. Usually for me, I need a day before I do anything else. Does the Dragon came right after. I believe it was the game in base housing. I got a couple of guys. Andrew came, another Korean buddy of mine, in the Air Force Base, Dover Air Force Base. And we got a couple other people. Basically came over to their house. We had a very nice house. And base house was nice and big, 2 stories. Yeah, that's how we played Dungeons and Dragons. That's how I got her into that, and she enjoyed it. She loved the storytelling, everything else. She started liking it more due to the fact the monster manual, because the monster manual has all the monsters, that she used inspired for art. Then she got enjoyed more of the storytelling, everything else. She loves James's campaign. We did the Iron Gods for Pathfinder. We had to skip a couple weeks due to the fact we moved. Did not like that. I was playing I believe an evocation wizard inside of a clay golem that's built as a actual submergible tank. So yes, that was fun to play. I can't wait to play him again. I don't know what level he is now. I know he's a technomancer now for the Pathfinder Iron Gods edition for it, but it's a very fun game to play. But before that, right after basic training, I was in Shepherd Air Force Base for tech school to work on my specific plane. It was a C5. Even though I'm a heavy aircraft, I work on any kind of heavy aircraft I can, and work on jets. Those are the smaller ones. We took over the whole library of Shepherd Air Force Base for D&D and Magic the Gathering. It was the most funnest thing I ever done. I got a whole bunch of people together. Every Saturday we had a huge barbecue pit grilling at the park. Get drunk our asses off. And some people wore their elf ears and shit. Had a Sark belt, basically a big reflector belt. That's another story I will tell about the Sark belt. If you guys want to know what it is I'll give you a brief summary. There's this, a lot of sexual harassment, rape and stuff that's happening at the base and stuff. So we had a reflector belt at night. So you gotta wear these at a certain time of night until certain time until it's visible daylight. So we call them the Sark belt, also called the sexual non-sexual harassment belt. So if you wear it, you cannot sexually assault, stuff like that. I can get more into detail about that later on, but I think that's very inappropriate for this whole thing. Think about D&D, but there's like so many other stories I could just say and talk about. Yeah, that's basically it. If you ever played Neverwinter Nights and other Forgotten Realms games, Icewind Dale is good. Beholder's Gate is good. If you want to get your tippy toes on actual visualize D&D type of style game, that is it. But other than that, you want to see our campaign book, it's on the playlist for Pathfinder and Lance's D&D 5th edition adventure, something like that. You probably can find it on the playlist. But anyhow, guys, let me know if you guys have played D&D, ever thought about it. If you ever played D&D, did it change your life or not? Anyhow, guys, thank you guys for watching and have a great day. Bye bye, guys.